Yeah, so that brings us on to the next film, The Forgiven, which came out earlier in the year. Really interesting film, this. Didn't get the greatest of reviews, but I watched it and quite enjoyed it. It's Ray Fiennes and Jessica Chastain in the film, and it's based on a book. It's basically they're a married couple, but they're obviously going through stuff. They're not getting on very well. They're traveling to Morocco. They're traveling to a friend's wedding out in the middle of nowhere, basically, and them and their friends and all of them, they're very rich. They've got the money. They've hired out this building. They've hired the locals as servants, basically, to prepare all the food and look after the place and all this. So it's all very extravagant, what's going on. Anyway, on the way, one thing to remember is Ray Fiennes' character is a bit of an alcoholic, and has got his demons. He's been drinking. They're driving through the desert, and they accidentally hit and kill a young boy.
Oh, jeez.
On the way to this party, and they kind of bit of a crisis happens. They end up going to the party, and bringing the boy's body with them.
Yeah.
And kind of they get there, and their friends are like, "Oh well, we'll take it inside, and we'll work out what to do with it," kind of thing. And then they kind of carry on with the party whilst the servants deal with the body and put it outwards. And it all turns out it is, one of the servants has worked out whose boy it is, the father of the boy, kind of thing.
Yeah, recognises him.
Yeah, and while this party is going on, kind of thing, and then eventually the boy's father does turn up at the compound that they're staying at, and his insistence is that he accompanies him to the village where they come from to bury the son. As
Ray
Fiennes' character
accompanies him
in a kind of show of sorrow kind of thing, and all part of their traditions, supposedly. He thought he could just pay him off. That was going to be
pay him off.
Basically just go, "Oh, sorry about that. Here's a few grand, and off you go," kind of thing. And
sorry, I killed your son. Here's a few grand.
And then obviously this then takes two different journeys. We got what's happening at the party, which is still going on, and his wife's there and all that. That's a whole thread. And then we're following Rafe's character as well as all that goes on, and that becomes a whole thing. And then a whole load of things start to unfold then.
All right.
Really interesting, I thought, and it's been given some criticism, but one of the things is obviously pretty much all the characters are completely unlikable. They're not nice people. There's problems with them all, and I think that's probably lent into why it's not been reviewed so well, in my opinion. But I think that is exactly the point the film is making. The way these people are acting,
entitled.
The entitlement, the way the story unfolds, but there's some really interesting points about exploring the philosophical elements of the main character, and what he is going through, and the way things change for him throughout the film. And it's I thought it was very interesting, and I think it's one that people should have a watch of and evaluate for themselves, really.
Well, I'd like to watch it just from what you've told me about it there. I like Ray Fiennes. I like Jessica Chastain. It sounds, like it, explores some really interesting ideas. It's an original setup. We don't get much stuff that's, you filmed out in the desert like that and so isolated, and you got these kind of like North African traditions and tribes and stuff. It sounds good, man. I'd watch it.
Yeah, I think that's it. it's a different element, different location to shoot these things, and I do love stuff that's shot in kind of like North Africa thing when they do it. It's more of an old thing, from the 50s, 60s kind of thing, and you think back to things like Casablanca and things like that. Really,
well, it made me think of The Constant Gardener. Do you remember that with Ray Fiennes and
really great film.
Rachel Weisz? It was a great film. I'd definitely watch The Forgiven. Definitely, yeah, I'd give it a go.
It's a thumbs up.
It's another thumbs up, which is great.